Good afternoon, or good evening I should say. Thank you very much and welcome here to Porky Rin. It is the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship Round 2. It's already been a very eventful day and no doubt we're going to have an eventful evening here as Cork and Clare clash just 2 weeks after their epic Munster Camogie final. Can Cork make it another victory, or can Clare, after their draw with Tipperary last week, take out one of the big teams and get a massive victory in this year's campaign? We've already seen Dublin draw with Tipperary, Down draw with Antrim, Waterford ahead of Wexford, Kilkenny have beaten Limerick. We'll tell you more about that as we go along. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylwood. And Elaine, we sensed last week coming into the championship it was going to be exciting. I think we've got more than we bargained for already and more expected here this evening. Yeah,
it's been a massive day of results, I suppose, and as you mentioned, a couple of draws, which always throws up a couple of different connotations looking at the games ahead and stuff. So look, it's championship weather again, and it certainly is a championship field down here in Porky Ring this evening.
We were just talking before we came on air, very little if any breeze here as well. The sun is going to be the big factor. You're keeping an eye on the toss.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who won it, but as you said, there's no breeze to account for. The only thing is the sun, and it is going to be in the eyes of the goalie there at the Blackrock end there, but you know, it's not going to be a big impact, I don't think, on any of the game, and it will dip a little bit later. But you know, both teams, as you said, served up an epic here 2 weeks ago, and look, if we get half the game we did that night, we're still going to have a really good Airs of hurling.
We certainly will as well. We won't have 100 minutes, but we could have a cracking 60 minutes or so. For Cork, it's been a busy day for them. We know about their dual players, two of them involved in the Munster Ladies Football final earlier on. They have a couple of changes from the starting 15 announced. We'll run through that in a moment as well. But a chance for Matthew Toomey and his management team to really look at their squad.
Yeah, exactly. Look, they had a great opening game, I suppose, against Wexford. Had to travel to Wexford and put up a really good show once they got going down there. Put up a really good score, I suppose, conceded very little. So, you know, they'll be full of confidence coming in today, as will Clare. You know, they've had a really epic, I suppose, Munster Championship, and those two draws with Tipperary, the extra time defeat here to Cork, and to go back to the Rag then last weekend for the fourth week on the run and get a result there, you know, a draw 10 points apiece with Tipperary. So, you know, Clare Camogie really on a high at the moment, and they'll really fancy their chances coming down here tonight.
And they will, the adrenaline on there, as you touched last week, being 4 weeks in a row. This is their 5th week in a row. You wonder, is the fatigue going to tell? But they've answered every challenge so far.
Absolutely. Look, and I feel it's probably the next couple of weeks maybe that will start to tell on them a little bit, if there is to be a little bit of fatigue. You know, they've got a couple of dual players as well who are out both weekends, both days of the weekend now, these couple of weeks going forward. So, you know, they have some really crucial games coming up no matter what happens here tonight. So I suppose, look, the championship comes thick and fast. It's going to be about recovery straight away for every team, because you're back out again next weekend. And look, as this group goes on, we can see that every game is going to be really important in it. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day, and look, results are not guaranteed. So every win you get, you need to really cherish it.
Two players have been talking points coming into this game. Hannah Looney, number 30 in Cork. She's not down to start the game. We wonder will we see her at some stage. But for Clare, no Anya O'Loughlin.
Yeah, look, I suppose the American effect on the two sides of it. You know, Hannah Looney coming back and Anya O'Loughlin heading to America for the summer. So obviously a huge loss to Clare. You know, she's been a real focal point of their attack, I suppose, over the last couple of weekends, and a player you can always count on to get a score or two every day, you know. So a huge loss to them. And from a Cork point of view, I suppose it was rumoured the last couple of weeks, alright, that Hannah Looney was on her way back and named at number 30 today. I've yet to see her in the warm-up out there, but I've no doubt, look, as the weeks go on, we're going to see Hannah in some action in the Cork jersey.
I've no doubt as well. Before we go through the two teams, Elaine, we get ourselves back to the commentary box for the 6 o'clock throw in here. Who's going to win this game?
Yeah, look, I suppose Clare put up a massive performance here 2 weeks ago, and you know, it was Cork that had to scrape to get to the extra time, but when they did get there, I suppose they were able to bring the big guns off the bench and use all that experience that they have from being in All-Ireland finals and in league finals in the last couple of years, and I think their experience probably will tell a little bit here today. I expect them to hold on for a win, but look, I expect Clare to push them all the way.
It promises to be a cracking contest as well, and we're really looking forward to it here in Porky Rin. Ray Kelly from Kildare is the referee. 6 o'clock is the throw in, and now we're going to run through the two teams, and we're going to start with Cork. That's coming up on your screen in just a moment. Cork have two changes from their starting 15. In goal, number 1 is Amy Lee. Full back line of 2, Maeve Murphy. Coming in where number 29 is Aisling Egan, replacing Libby Cobbinger, but Maeve Callan does start at 4. The half back line where number 5, Laura Hayes. Centre back number 6 is Laura Tracy, and 7 is Saoirse McCarthy. In midfield were number 8, Katie O'Mahony, partnered by number 9, Aisling Thompson. The half forward line, the second change there, Orla Cronin, number 18, starts at right wing forward. 11 is Fiona Keating, and 12 is Emma Murphy. And in the inside line, top of the right, number 13, Amy O'Connor. Full forward, number 14, Chloe Sigerson. And top of the left were number 15, Katrina Mackey. Elaine, a very strong team, even with those enforced changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I suppose any team that you're bringing Orla Cronin into, you're certainly not weakening it by any manner of means. And Aisling Egan is someone who's plenty of experience at full back for Cork over the last couple of years. So look, well able to step into the shoes of Libby Coppinger there today.
Matthew Toomey is, of course, the Cork manager. We'll run through other players as they come on the field to play. Let's look at the Clare team. No changes from their starting 15. In goal number 1, Darren Murphy. Full back line 2, Ciara Grogan. 3, joint captain Clare Hare. And 4 is Caoimhe Kelly. The half back line were number 5, Aoife Keane. Centre back number 6 is Chloe Morey. And 7 is Alana Ryan. In midfield were number 8, the other joint captain Niamh O'Dea. Par number 9, Caoimhe Carmody. Half forward line 10 is Linda Daly. 11, Lorna McNamara, and 12 is Orla Duggan. And the inside line, top of the right, number 13, Muireann Scanlon. Full forward, number 14, Emer Kelly. And top of the left were number 15, Cian Spillane.
Yeah, look, I suppose a Clare team we've become familiar with over the last couple of weekends. You know, they've a pretty similar lineup, where obviously Anya O'Loughlin, who we mentioned in commentary there, is already, is gone, so she's out of that team, but still loads of experience. And look, Chloe Morey at 6, they're anchoring, and ably assisted by Niamh O'Dea outside her. So look, they've proven over the last couple of weekends they've plenty of scoring power up front as well, and look, they'll need all that today.
We've had the interactive experience coming through the good crowd that is here in Páirc Uí Rinn. In the shaded end, there's a few souls the far side of the field trying to enjoy what sun is left here. It's perfect. It feels like summer camogie. It is summer camogie. It is the last weekend of May, and now we're going to have a Rán na Bhín. Well, you can hear the round of applause in the background as we get ready for throw-in here. Some games already have finished up here. This is the 6th out of 6 games in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Waterford has scored a third goal against Wexford. It's Waterford 3-9, Wexford 6 points. Galway lead Offaly by 2-8 to 4 points. Kilkenny big winners over Limerick earlier on as well. As we mentioned, 2 draws that started off the day. Dublin 10 points, Tipperary 10 points, Down 112, Antrim 112. We'll tell you what all that means over the course of the afternoon, but all eyes are here on the field to play as the referee shakes hands with the Cork midfielders. You can see Aisling Thompson there, looks like a bit of purple boots on today, wearing number 9 with the black helmet there in the middle. Clare just in one final huddle, getting themselves in position. Clare will be attacking the goal to the right in the first half. We make out there, as I see, Muireann Scanlon and Emer Kelly getting into position as well. Aisling Egan wearing 29, looks like she will start at full back. Elaine will keep an eye on all those positional switches. It has just gone 6 o'clock. We are nearly good to go here. Cork with 1 win in the championship, Clare with a draw. But remember what happened 2 weeks ago. The ball is thrown in, the game is on. Cork against Clare is up and underway as Aoife Keane tries to get a touch for Clare, but it's back for the joint captain Niamh O'Dea. Gives it back to Chloe Morey. 2 great leaders for Clare, and a long ball down the far side of the field looking for Cian Spillane. Won't come for her, but Emer Kelly comes out to get possession, or tries to get possession. Aisling Egan keeping very, very tight there. She's spent plenty of time at full back over the course of the campaign so far. This is Orla Duggan out in the left for Clare, into the hands of the Cork captain, the goalkeeper Amy Lee, and she plays a short one out in the direction of Maeve Cahalane. Maeve Cahalane did come off the bench, we're told, in the football game earlier on. She starts the camogie match and moves down the left hand side of the field, finds a teammate, finds the pass, and that teammate was one of the strong half back line. Laura Hayes gives it to Emma Murphy. She got 4 points in last week's victory against Wexford inside the 65-metre line, and Clare have managed to stop Cork in their tracks. End-to-end stuff in the early stages as Linda Daly sent it down in towards the attack. Cork happy enough to take that to Laura Tracy, who will sit back in the pocket at times and try and take possession, and she sends one down the far side of the field for Orla Cronin. Great to have Orla Cronin back in the field. If you're a Cork supporter, she is going up against the Clare number 4, was Caoimhe Kelly. Orla Cronin trying to find a way inside, has options beside her, might go herself. Orla Cronin with the first shot at the post. The umpires have a look, they like it. The ball has, well, they're taking their time with this, but the white flag is going over. The referee has noted a lane. 80 seconds gone. Cork a point, Clare no score.
Yeah, and Orla Cronin has started inside that right corner forward with Chloe Sigerson coming out to right half forward. So I suppose plenty of pace inside in that Cork full forward line now with Amy O'Connor, Katrina Mackey and Orla Cronin.
Kieran Murphy from Clare was nominated for Player of the Month for April. Takes the puck out and plays right in front of us here now, just inside the 65-metre line, as both teams battle for possession as well. Clare always seem to have two players in those breaking balls at the moment. Aoife Keane gives the ball back and Clare launch a quarterback-style attack down towards the other end of the field as the Clare attack, and Cian Spillane there in the white helmet trying to get moving there, and she does well getting inside. She scored already in the championship. Will she get her second? Indeed she does. Puts the ball over the bar. 2 minutes into the game, all square, 1 point apiece.
Yeah, and a really clever ball initially from Chloe Morey, who's doing likewise to what Laura Tracy I suppose is doing on the Cork end. Chloe Morey sitting back into that pocket there, took the back pass on that occasion from Niamh O'Dea and delivered a lovely ball down, really favouring Cian Spillane in that right corner, and she did really well to take on her player and get the shot away, and a super response from Clare.
No Super Bowl here, but it's a Super Bowl for these two teams. They know how much 3 points will be worth in this tightest of groups in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. The ball goes out over the line, the far side of the field. Alana Ryan is the player with the red helmet when these two teams met in the All-Ireland quarter-final in 2020. Cork were big winners in the day, 3-15 to 8 points. But Alana Ryan was one of the top players on show that day in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. We're in Páirc Uí Rinn for this game, and Alana Ryan takes the sideline cut, getting it down towards the 65-metre line, and Orla Duggan there, you can hear the Clare supporters getting behind her as well, but Cork win possession back, and ball goes down again, down towards the left channel and in the direction of the attack, but it's Aoife Keane that wins it back for Clare, and you can see Emma Murphy just bounces the hurl off the ground, disappointed to have lost possession on that occasion. Every 50-50 ball going to be keenly contested as Muireann Scanlon gives it off to Linda Daly. Linda Daly looks around, turns left, turns right. Referee says she took too many steps, and it's going to be a free out for Cork.
Yeah, probably just a little bit caught in two options there. Wasn't sure if she was going to give the return pass to Muireann Scanlon or if she was going to take it on herself, and when she did double back, then the Cork player is quick, I suppose, to call the steps and call the overcarrying, and Ray Kelly with no choice but to blow the free for Cork.
Need some support there as well from supporters right in front of it there. Just there's a bit of sun in this stand in the commentary box as well, as Laura Hayes takes the free for Cork, launches a diagonal ball down in the direction of Orla Cronin. It won't be Orla, but she takes the pass the second time. I think it might have been Katrina Mackey to give her the pass off there, but in fighting for the ball is the joint captain Clare Hare, and leaves it off for her teammates, and Clare are going to bring the ball out again towards the 65-metre line, and good work here from the Saffron and Blue as they've settled into the game. Showed no ill effects from the schedule they've been on. Of course, Niamh O'Dea has a big football match tomorrow against Down, but she's focused on Camogie here today and is still on the go. Has done very well, Niamh O'Dea, but she managed to get something out of this. Good defending, it has to be said. It wasn't made easy for her. The ball goes to the left and wide.
No, it certainly wasn't made easy. You know, Chloe Sigerson, I think it was, tracked her the whole way back and then passed her on. It was Izzy O'Regan and Fiona Keating that was coming behind her as well. So super pressure from Cork. But look, worrying enough, I suppose, is that she got down right to the heart of the Cork defence. But a super run from Niamh O'Dea.
That's what they'll be looking for from Clare as well. 1 point apiece if you're just joining us. 4.5 minutes gone here in Páirc Uí Rinn, and Cork have possession the far side of the field, attacking the goal to the left, and a long driving ball down towards Katrina Mackey country. She's wearing number 15, but Amy O'Connor might come out to try and get a touch in this as well. Good work on that occasion by Ciara Grogan from the Glooney Gwyn club, getting the little touch there as well to help Clare retain possession. That being said, Cork are not going to allow them to take it out very, very easily. Down the left for Clare, and it's won back by Saoirse McCarthy. Saoirse McCarthy lays the hand pass off for Aisling Thompson. Aisling Thompson on the left now, another ball down. Laura Hayes was pushing up the field. Cork still hold on to the ball through Emma Murphy. She'll be determined to do better than the last time. Gives it back to Aisling Thompson. She likes to have a pop from 40 yards. Decided to send this one inside. Maybe she should have gone for the pop, trying to get Amy O'Connor. It's a wide each, it's a point each.
Yeah, and the build-up play from Cork on that occasion was really good. Look, it was the run of Laura Hayes. I think Aisling Thompson spotted originally, but the pass didn't just quite make it into her path, but did really well for Emma Murphy to retain possession and pop it off to Aisling. Should be a little bit disappointed, I suppose, that her shot didn't make the distance, and look, it allowed Clare to reset.
Caoimhe Carmody to Chloe Morey, and the ball is down in the Clare forward line with Aisling Egan from St Finbarrs. Wins the ball, gives it to Laura Tracy. Laura Tracy moving towards the 20-metre line. A bit of space in front of her, but she won't be hanging around with the ball. Looks for options. The option on the left comes from Maeve Cahalane, and Maeve Cahalane on the 45-metre line on her right-hand side sends it straight down the field. Both sides are looking to attack. There's no holding back here. This is an opportunity for a Cork score, and it's gone over the bar, and it comes from Chloe Sigerson. 6 minutes gone, and Cork go 2 points to 1 in front.
Yeah, super take from Chloe there, right on the run, and get away, and we know she's such a superb striker of the ball, so on the run from there she was always going to have a shot, and a super score from them.
Cork 2 points, Clare 1 as Clare Hare brings the ball out towards the left again, hoping to Orla Duggan. One of 2 changes in the Clare team that played Tipperary last week, trying to get on the ball, but Aisling Thompson is back to take possession and lays the pass off, and Cork will come up towards the 65-metre line again. Again looking up, looking like Laura Tracy was the player to send it down towards enemy territory. They've lethal forwards in Cork. Amy O'Connor, of course, a proficient scorer as well, got 2-3 in the victory against Wexford last week. Was also a high score. 10 points she got in the Munster Camogie final 2 weeks ago. The linesman, the near side of the field, says the ball went out over the line, so it's going to be a Clare ball, and it looks like it's going to be the green helmet of Aoife Keane from Ina Kilnamona that will take this sideline cut right in front of us here in the commentary box. 7 minutes gone. And it's Clare now getting ready to try and get back and get an equaliser too. They responded to the first Cork score very, very quickly. Aoife Keane just taking her time there to get moving again. She was joint captain of University of Limerick when they won the Ashbourne Cup in 2019. Joint captain with Clare Hare on her team. Many leaders in the Clare defence, indeed many leaders across the Clare team. Equally, you could say the same about Cork. One of them is Aisling Thompson, an All-Ireland winning captain in 2015. She has the ball, comes out towards the 65-metre line. Interpretation here is going to be the key, and being consistent with the rules as we understand them is rightfully a free for Clare.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one to come. At the minute the collision happened, you knew it was going to be one of those decisions that the crowd were either going to love it or hate it. But in fairness to Ray Kelly, as you said, consistent with the ruling that whoever is in possession of the ball, they need to evade the tackle, and on that occasion Aisling Thompson didn't, straight into Niamh O'Dea, who I'm sure was expecting and knew what was coming and was well able to stand her ground.
There's experience there as well. Niamh O'Dea was having a chat with the official afterwards. I think he was explaining something, maybe she said something afterwards. Either way, it's going to be a free for Clare outside the 65-metre line. Is this the moment now to try and get back on level terms? Lorna McNamara scored 6 points in the draw against Tipperary. So the free has actually been taken by Chloe Morey, who's also well known for her long distance efforts, and Chloe Morey puts the ball over the bar. 9 minutes gone in the game. I apologise for mixing the players up, but Chloe gets the score, 2 points apiece.
Yeah, equally capable to the task, I suppose, from free or from play, and has often on occasion, I think, popped up in those Clare forwards as well over the years, but certainly really at home at centre back there, and a super strike from her on the 65. And again, a great response from Clare.
Cork over the short, puck out to Aisling Egan, but they've given away possession. It's won by Emer Kelly. Emer Kelly turns on the right, good block down there by Cork. Clare will fight for the ball again, and Emer Kelly has managed to retrieve possession on the right-hand side of the field, trying to find a way around Laura Tracy, the player with the block. Aoife Keane now with the ball on the right and sends it down in towards the corner as well, looking for Zian or Muireann Scanlon. Actually was the player that goes to the ground. Laura Hayes has possession for Cork, sends it across, missed by the hands of Niamh O'Dea, and this is an opportunity for Cork as Orla Cronin spreads it out to Chloe Sickerson, and Chloe Sickerson likes to go for the long range efforts, and it goes over the bar. Jordan Murphy wasn't taking any chances with that. Chloe Sickerson gets the score. 10 minutes gone, 3 points to 2 to Cork.
Yeah, look, and that's something Clare are going to have to watch. Chloe Sickerson is an experienced player at that, sits out in that pocket there, and if she gets a shot from anywhere within 65 metres, she's well capable of putting it over the bar. But credit Cork on that occasion. It was a really quick, clever ball into Chloe in that space, and a super score from her.
We can tell you that Offaly have scored a goal against Galway, but Galway have also added 3 points. It's Galway 2-11, Offaly 1-4. That was a 5 o'clock throw-in, so we'll keep an eye on that over the first half, and we'll give you the results when we have it. Elaine is having a check there on what's going on in Walsh Park between Waterford and Wexford. We have a hold up here in play as Muireann Scanlon from 6 Mile Bridge is receiving some attention, and of course Muireann Scanlon's had a great year so far, winning an Irish Senior Cup in hockey. Can she win silverware for Clare this year? Time will tell. Elaine, it's 3-13 to Waterford, 7 points to Wexford. We have to say, Elaine, we weren't expecting a margin like that in that match.
No, but look, I suppose we spoke last weekend about the character that's in that Waterford team, and this really was a do or die game for them. You know, they needed to get a win there today to keep their championship hopes alive, and they're certainly doing themselves no harm. And I suppose an area where they really struggled with last weekend was goals, and they've got 3 so far and 13 points. You know, from a Wexford point of view, it's probably a little bit disappointing that they've conceded those goals. They tend to set up fairly defensively, so to have conceded 3-13, they'll be a little bit concerned. I think there's still maybe 15 minutes to go in that game, but from the reports, it looks like Waterford are well in control there.
Yeah, Wexford did beat Waterford in the league, but Waterford on their way to victory there, as will Galway too. We'll go through what the groups will look like at the end of this game before we finish up our coverage here in Páirc Uí Rinn. Play down the far side of the field there as Clare trying to generate an attack. The referee says it's a free out for Cork. A pole just in front of me blocking the view of the official, but Cork know what's going on, and they will have a free out. And Maeve Murphy, a player that has made an impact breaking into the Cork senior side this season, is the player that's going to take this free on her own 20-metre line. 11 minutes gone. Cork 3 points, Clare 2. Maeve Murphy with the short one in the direction of Saoirse McCarthy, and Saoirse McCarthy with loads of time there to look up and launch a dangerous ball down towards the full forward line. Who's going to get the first goal in this game? There was only one goal in the Munster Camogie final. That came from Niamh O'Dea. Aoife Keane fighting for possession again, but loses out to Katrina Mackey. Katrina Mackey runs into 3 Clare players, and Clare did well to win the ball back. A 4th player is there to help out. That's Linda Daly, but she gives the ball away. Cork have it back. It's Fiona Keating from Courcey Rovers with the shot at the post, and Fiona Keating, the umpires have a look, and it's gone over the bar. They're taking their time, acknowledging the score. Fiona Keating with the point, 4 points to 2, and the referee's having a word with Niamh O'Dea.
Yeah, and I think Clare will be disappointed with that. That was a ball they had under control. You know, they'd done really, really well to hold up Katrina Mackey en route to goal there. Looked like they were going to force the overcarry, turned it over, had it in their possession coming out, and just a little sloppy stick pass then allowed Cork gain possession again, and Fiona Keating with the score.
No card for Niamh O'Dea, just a chat with the official. Second time she's been talking to him over the course of the game so far. Clare on the attack down the near side of the field. Sian Spillane with the ball, trying to turn inside her market there on her left hand side. Sends a pass across the field, looking maybe for Lorna McNamara. It doesn't come for her. Emer Kelly is there fighting for the ball too, but it's Cork who bring it out as well, and good work again from the ever busy Laura Hayes it is, and Laura Hayes on the 65-metre line, looks to the right there, looks like a rehearsed move in towards the other side, trying to find Chloe Sickerson. Chloe just losing out in the moment to Alana Ryan, and Alana Ryan with possession there. Good battle going on there. The referee blows the whistle, and it looks like it'll be a free out for Clare. The referee running down towards the end line. I'm not too sure if something was said at the Clare dugout.
Yeah, he looks like he certainly heard something anyway. He moved with a bit of intent over there to address whatever had been said, I think, from the sideline.
Well, as Cork supporters anyway, cheering whatever went on there, but looks like he's tying his laces there now. Nobody's going anywhere at the moment, but words have been said. We're going to go back for a Clare free out, and that'll take place just inside the 45-metre line. So again, we're just keeping an eye. Is anybody getting sent to the line there? I don't think so. There's a Clare player on the ground, the other side of the field as well. Looks like Muireann Scanlon is on the ground again. Second time she's been down in the game, Elaine, so it'll be a bit of concern for her, Clare.
Yeah, and it looked to be a knee injury, I think, on the first occasion. I think it's the same knee that she's getting a little bit of attention on now at the minute. So, you know, maybe tried to run it off and just hasn't quite been able to. But yeah, it looks like she is going to.
So it's a blow for Clare there as well, being forced into a substitution. We've confirmed the identity of the player coming on at the moment, but Muireann Scanlon is gone off the field for Clare, and that has come on 14 minutes. Clare losing their number 13, and we just confirmed the identity of the green helmet that has come on the field to play in just a moment up beside Aisling Thompson. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it is a Clare free inside their own half of the field, and they will restart the action. So Clare 2 points behind at the moment to Cork, 4 points to 2. And it looks like Susan Daly, who started the last day, is the player that comes on. Susan Daly, of course, is the sister of Linda, who's already on the field to play. And the action between the 65-metre line. There's a few little clashes going on between respective players now, isn't there, Elaine?
Yeah, look, and I suppose that's what you get when you've played 2 weeks ago for 100 minutes. I suppose you learn a few things that you carry forward into the next day. A bit of familiarity there, certainly, among some of the players. But just getting a little bit stop-start, I suppose, at the moment, as both teams just try to find a little edge.
We're coming up towards the quarter hour here in Páirc Uí Rinn in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Cork 4 points, Clare 2. The last game of 6 matches taking place today. If Cork were to win this game, they'll go joint top of Group 1 with Dublin, who are, actually no, they'll go top in their own, I should say. Dublin, of course, are on 4 points after a win and a draw. So Cork will be the only team, or actually they're the only team at the moment who are on maximum points, and they'll stay that way if they win this match. If Clare get the victory, they'll go joint top of a very congested group at the moment. Waterford, of course, on their way to victory. They had a defeat last week against the Metropolitans, and this is a free for Clare on the Cork 65-metre line. And they'll get ready to restart the action. Looks like Chloe Morey will have another goal from distance. And can she bring this back to a 1-point ball game? So as Elaine said, just get a bit stop-start at the moment as the free is taken by Clare. It has the distance, but it doesn't look like it'll have the accuracy. Will it stay in play? Not to be. Second wide of the game for Clare, and we're just looking at the score there with 3 minutes to go. Waterford 3-18, Wexford 9 points. That is the latest score, not a result yet. We will give you the results as we have them, and we'll check Galway and Offaly in just a couple of moments as well. Cork bringing the ball out through Maeve Cahalane. gives the pass side to Laura Tracy, and she'll come up towards the 45 metre line, looks around for options, sees an option down the far side of the field, and an excellent take on that occasion by Orla Cronin. Orla Cronin surrounded by 2 defenders. Referee says too many steps. I don't think she'll be happy about that, but it's going to be a free out for Clare.
Yeah, and I think she knew herself even on the whistle that maybe she'd taken just a little bit too much out of it. Had looked outside for Emma Murphy's run, maybe just thought about going herself then and just forced. And credit to the Clare defence, you know, they stood her up again, and they've done that time and time again, forced the turnover, forced the over carry from the Cork forward. So super work by the Clare defence there again.
Chloe Murray takes the free for Clare down the far side of the field, hoping that Caoimhe Carmody from Kilmaley will get on that. Loses out on that occasion. They've Callan in fighting for possession for Cork. Goes out over the line. And back down for Laura Tracy. Laura Tracy now looks around for options. There's a few of them there as well. Trying to find Aisling Thompson, not to be. It's won back by Clare. Lorna McNamara with the ball on the 45 metre line. But again, Aisling Thompson with that tight marking there wasn't going to make that easy for the centre forward from Clare. Susan Daly has the ball. She might go for a shot, or for a shot at the post, and it's coming on the field. The play drops into the hands of the Cork captain, Amy Lee. And Amy Lee leaves the ball off, and Cork are going to bring it up towards the 45 metre line again. Direct ball down in towards the attack, towards Emma Murphy. A great tussle between Emma Murphy and Aoife Keane, it has to be said. Aoife Keane probably slightly ahead in these early stages on the 45 metre line. Looking around, bounces the ball on the ground. It shows the confidence there. Tried to find Sian Spillane. Doesn't appear to materialise for her at the moment. And Cork will win it back through Maeve Murphy from Ballinamore. Gives it to Laura Tracy from Killa. And Laura Tracy now bringing it out to the 45 metre line. That's what she does. She goes to the 45, looks up and sees what the options are. Tries to find a teammate, but Clare are reading that well. Orla Duggan with a ball down in the direction of Caoimhe Carmody. Looks like she's pushed in towards the attack at the moment. Now what can she do here as Maeve Callan stays tight with her, trying to block out the route. People are calling for steps. No call from the official. Caoimhe Carmody sends the ball across the field, but it will be Aisling Thompson, one number 9 to another. Aisling Thompson, the player that wins the ball, sends it into space, knowing that a teammate is there, and Cork are bringing the ball down the field again, down to Laura Tracy, and she'll send it down towards Laura Hayes. Laura Hayes on the left. She might go for a shot here with Laura Hayes. The halfbacks combine, and Laura Hayes puts the ball over the bar. We waited a few minutes for a score. It's finally coming 18 minutes. 5 points to 2 to Cork.
Yeah, and it's probably a just reward for Laura Hayes. She's made that run a couple of times there and just hasn't quite had the pass picked out to her. But on that occasion, her halfback colleague Laura Tracy made no mistake and popped lovely into her hand, and a super score from her. And I suppose that's what that Cork halfback line are so capable of. They're capable of defending really, really well, but also getting forward and setting up attacks.
Saoirse McCarthy wins the ball back there for Cork, and she's going to send the ball out towards the left again. Clare reading these very, very well, but Cork have met hay with what they've gotten over the course of the game. We can tell you it's now Galway 2-11, Offaly 1-6. Still not finished there. I think about 3 minutes to go in that game. Not like in Walsh Park. We'll have the results as soon as we know them. Down in towards the attack is Emma Murphy, working hard. She's done well here so far. Probably just ran into one too many Clare defenders. Indeed has managed to use some know-how to get the ball down in the direction of Amy O'Connor. Amy hasn't scored yet, but this will be the moment she gets off the mark in this game. That ball goes to the left and wide. 2 wides apiece for Cork. Elaine, what do you make of it so far, especially the Clare defence? Cork are asking an awful lot of questions. They have the scores, but Clare are not making it easy, it has to be said.
Certainly not, no, and they're not allowing Cork to do what Cork love to do, which is to build from the back. But credit to the Clare forwards, you know, they're stopping them at source and they're forcing them to go long time and time again. And when they do, the Clare defenders then are able to swallow up those Cork forwards, force the turnover. Credit to Nemo G, you know, she's getting up and down the field, you know, she's getting back in numbers, but she's there when Clare go on the attack as well, so she's a huge addition to them there.
Clare here, the joint captain for the Banner County, takes the free but blocked down the Cork half back line. Really starting to get on top of this game. The challenge comes in from Linda Daly. Advantage given to Laura Hayes, sending it down towards the corner again, hoping that Amy O'Connor might get a second opportunity to get off the mark. And Amy O'Connor has done well to turn inside. She needs a bit of support. She might need it actually. She gets a bit of space to go for the shot. And Amy O'Connor finally gets off the mark. It's taken 20 minutes. She puts the ball over the bar, and Elaine, she did very, very well to work that scoring opportunity.
Yeah, look, and you could see she was probably thinking of trying to create something greater even there. She probably had a half eye on goal, but when the opportunity didn't present, was well able to roll back and take the score again. And I suppose that's just where Cork just start to stretch their lead a little bit now when they have the forwards in there and they are starting to break down that Clare defence. 5 different scores for Cork in the game so far. All of their scores coming from play. Clare will score from play from Sian Spillane and a free from Chloe Morey. The action is down in the Cork 65 metre line, but back to help out is Katie O'Mahony holding the jersey there. Partner Aisling Thompson during the league and is continuing on that course. Fiona Keating with a move down
the right-hand side of the field. Cork just enjoying a purple patch here at the moment, getting a bit of a margin ahead of the visitors. But of course, as Clare have proven already in the last month in particular, they won't mind a 4-point deficit. They can work their way back into the game. Chloe Sigerson has the ball. I send the Gary Owen style ball down in the direction of Emma Murphy. Emma Murphy just getting ahead of Aoife Keane. Can she get her hands on the ball? Does get her hands on the ball, gives it off to Laura Hayes. Laura Hayes has done well on the left, goes for a shot at the post, and she got too much out of that. Maybe just too much. It goes across to the right and wide, but Cork are starting to really trouble Clare.
Yeah, look, and Laura Hayes, as I said, she's been making those runs all day and has got on the end of the last two shots there. Now that one not coming off on that occasion, but just the way Cork are capable of swinging the play from one side to another, she's always a threat down that left-hand side.
Emer Kelly with the shot for Clare. Can she rest a slide? Indeed, Emer Kelly puts the ball over the bar. It's been 13 minutes since we had a Clare score. It comes from Emer Kelly, 3 points to 6.
Yeah, look, and again, it came from their sharp pocket at the far end. Darren Murphy finding Chloe Morey, and they were able to work it out from there. So I suppose just catching the Cork forwards maybe tuned off after that score and building at the back from there.
So Amy Lee's just taking her time with this puck out. Knows her team in the ascendancy at the moment. They lead by 3 points, but that's just one puck of the ball. Excellent take there by Alana Ryan. I wasn't too sure which of them caught it. We knew one of them had a superb catch. Orla Duggan sends the ball down towards the attack, but you're not going to beat Maeve Cahalane with a ball like that. Maeve Cahalane to Chloe Sigerson. Chloe Sigerson turns on her right, looks up again, and down for 3 players. We talked about 2, but there's Emma Murphy inside there as well. Emma Murphy has the ball. Can she get a shot on the goal? An opportunity for Cork, but just doesn't get the power. Tight defending. It wasn't Ciara Grogan illegally, says the referee, and Cork are going to get a free in.
Yeah, and look, that's, I suppose, what Cork are capable of. The chance probably fell to Emma Murphy there. Tried to pull on it on the ground and just didn't make the right connection on it, but had the advantage and very happy to pull it back further free from there. But I suppose, you know, come from one good clear score right down the heart of their own defence then, and that's just how quickly Cork are capable of turning these things around. It
was an excellent vision from Chloe Sigerson as well to set up that attack. Yes, there was a break on it, but it's now with a free for Amy O'Connor. I just said Cork hadn't scored from a free yet in the game. This surely will be the first score from a place ball. I can't imagine she's going to be doing anything clever here. Just put the ball over the bar. Amy O'Connor with the free, puts it over. It's a 4-point ball game again after 23 minutes, 7 points to 3.
Yeah, and again, you know, it was that crossfield diagonal ball from Chloe Sigerson, and you know, Cork are so alert to it, and the players on the far wing know that it's coming time and time again, and they really are getting their just reward for it here at the moment.
So Darren Murphy with the puck out for Clare again, gets good distance on the ball as the World Championship winning handballer breaks down again kindly for Cork. Aoife Keane tried to get the ball. Referee says the players collided, no free, but Aoife Keane just goes down, so we're going to have another hold up in play, and we'll just have a look at what's going on in the other games as we do that as well. Of course, myself and Elaine checking one match each as we go along. I can tell you in Burren we have a result. Galway 2-12, Offaly 1-6. Much closer than many people thought, but a result and a victory for the All-Ireland champions nonetheless. And Elaine, what's happening in Walsh Park?
So still no final score there, but at 27 minutes gone it was Waterford 3-18 to Wexford's 9 points. So we'd imagine Waterford holding on for the victory there and keeping their hopes alive in this group. 18-point
victory for Waterford. What a blow it'll be for Wexford, and they have to pick themselves up because Wexford have to travel to Clare next week in what's going to be a key game. There's an impromptu water break taking place here in Páirc Uí Rinn, where we're keeping an eye on Aoife Keane, and she is back on her feet. I was mentioning there Wexford away to Clare next week, a big match that'll be. We also have Tipperary against Waterford, which is now turning into a big match based on how results have gone so far, and Dublin against Cork. Could be a top of the table clash. We will see by around 7:30 this evening. Aoife Keane is back on her feet. We're going to throw the ball in. A few players just questioned was there any fouls or not. I think Aoife Keane thought she might be due one, but the referee said it was a 50-50 collision. He stopped the game for safety, and rightfully so. Play restarts and Clare have possession, moving up towards the 65-metre line through Chloe Morey, one of their all-stars as well. Good block down there by Laura Hayes for Emma Murphy, and Emma Murphy, can she keep the ball in play? It's done well, gives the pass across for Laura Hayes again. Orla Cronin was nearby, but Laura Hayes has the ball. Clare getting tight again in the defending, but they're still just struggling to get balance. They need someone like Niamh O'Dea to come in and get involved. Niamh O'Dea gets involved. Niamh O'Dea wins the ball. She knew that was an important free out lane.
Absolutely. Look, it just goes back again to the block from Laura Hayes here in front. It was a super block, and you know, not content then, she gets up the field again to get on the end of the pass from Emma Murphy, and look, both Laura Hayes and Orla Cronin were pairing forward at that stage, but Clare did really well. As I said, numbers back again, and it was Niamh O'Dea who got back there in on the break and to break down that Cork attack.
Lorna McNamara to work hard to hold on to the ball, but Emer Kelly is taking possession of the Slayer now, running along the 45-metre line, just trying to get away from Maeve Cahalane, who's staying very, very tight to her, but she's done well as Emer Kelly sends a dangerous ball in towards Amy Lee, and Amy Lee, when she knew that was going wide, she wasn't taking any chances. The sun here, we were commenting on it in the build-up, while the breeze is gradually picking up, it's the sun is the big factor here.
Yeah, that is the danger in that goal there, and whether Amy Lee got a call or not, but she seemed confident enough that that ball was going to her left-hand side and wide. I'm not sure anyone in the crowd here was quite as confident as it. There was a little bit of gasp maybe when she left it go, but she knew well what was going on.
A great campaigner for Cork. It's hard to believe it's only her third season in the starting team, and of course she replaced the legendary Aoife Murray. Clare have the ball again through Chloe Morey. Chloe Morey sending it up. Clare can't afford to be making mistakes like that. Emer Kelly didn't get control of the ball, and Aisling Thompson has it now. To Cork, since an opportunity to punish Clare for that indiscretion. Laura Hayes sending it down towards the left again, down towards the inside line again. The battle's going on there as Amy O'Connor did well to hold it up for the number 12, who's Emma Murphy from Glen Rovers. Emma Murphy sends the ball across the far side of the field, and two players tangle up there as Chloe Sigerson gets back on her feet. Clare have possession as well, as the sun just makes it a bit difficult to identify the players the far side of the field. The referee has blown the whistle. Actually, without over the line, or is it a free out? I'm not too sure at the moment. We'll see with the Clare player, which is Clare Hare, goes over to take that ball. There's another player on the ground as well. It looks like it's Emer Kelly who threw a Clonlara. Clare have had a few players down this first half.
Yeah, they have, and look, maybe that's the toll, I suppose, of, as we said, the 5 weeks on the go now, and it's been 5 tough games, you know, 2 tough games against Tip, the Munster semi-final replay, extra time against Cork in the Munster final here, a tough trip to Tip last weekend, and to get a result in the rag, and you know, that starts to take its toll on the body, and I suppose that's where the Clare panel will have to start to come into play over the next couple of weekends.
Yeah, and especially today and next week as well, as we were even touched on before, and this is the 5th consecutive week in a row, just with the condensed calendar that we have, and they Clare drawing their Munster semi-final against Tipperary, and this will be the concern for Conor Dolan and John Carmody and their team, because, you know, we've talked about Anya Loughlin not being here before, and Muireann Scanlon has already gone off as well. You know, Clare have built up a very strong panel this year. Even the performance of their juniors against Mayo last week shows there's plenty of talent there as well, but that toll can eventually catch, and only get 1 week off after next week.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, even the slightest of niggles, I suppose, or the slightest of injuries, you just don't get time to rehab them because you're week on, so, you know, it's a quick turnaround, and as I said, the games have been tough, they've been physical, it's warm out there this evening as well, so I suppose if you are carrying any little niggle into a game like this, it's bound to, you know, to rear its head at some stage during the game. But look, Emer Kelly looks to be okay to continue there for Clare, but look, it is a concern, and I suppose it's a concern for all teams, and I suppose it's where the depth of the panel really comes into it.
Emer Kelly, a researcher in sports fitness and role models, a great ambassador for Clare. The free is taken and down towards the other end of the field. Can Clare get another score to bring this back to a 3-point ball game? Not the way Cork are playing at the moment, as Cork are just getting really into their groove, and I say just getting, they've been in their groove the last 10 minutes, you have to say. Laura Tracy to Chloe Sigerson with the shot. It's going to be close. The umpires have a look, and it's gone over the bar. It goes for the white flag. 29 minutes in, but we've seen some great Chloe Sigerson specials over time. That's another great one.
Yeah, and I think we could sense it coming once she got that ball in any little bit of space at all. She may have been around the middle of the field, but that's certainly not out of range for Chloe Sigerson. And you know, she's so clever at just dropping back the field, then finding herself in that much space, giving herself enough time to wind up and get those shots away, and another super long range score from her.
3 points from play for Chloe Sigerson in this match. Her opposite number, Emer Kelly, they're disappointed with the shot she had for Clare. Cork lead Clare by 8 points to 3. We're inside the final minute of normal time in the first half. We've had a good few stoppages, so I expect a good 3-4 minutes at the very, very least. We'll keep an eye on a fourth official if they are going to indicate how much added time will be played. We don't always get them, but we will keep an eye. Alana Ryan has the ball for Clare at the far side of the field, just outside the 65-metre line. Any result from Walsh Park yet?
Yeah, the 3-18 to 9-point scoreline was the final score from Walsh Park, so big win for Waterford there at home to Wexford. 2
defeats for Wexford in the campaign so far. I think they're the only team in 0 points in Group 1. We'll have a look at all that over the course of the second half. The battle for possession down between the Cork halfback and fullback line, and the Rebelettes win the ball back to Saoirse McCarthy, and she's the confidence to send it across to Amy Lee. Amy Lee on her own with the left flank to play with, needs to find a player. She got too much purchase in the shot for Laura Hayes, and she got found in number 5, but not the intended target. Aoife Keane is there as well. The 2 number 12 girls come in to get involved. Orla Duggan for Clare and Emma Murphy from Cork, and the battle is going on there just inside the Cork 65-metre line. It's Orla Duggan from Cooney Quinn, the captain of Clare in 2016, that wins the ball. Down for Sian Spillane. Sian Spillane outside the 20-metre line, gets the ball in her hand, trying to get away from Maeve Murphy. She's done well, moving across to the left, has to watch the steps there as well, drops the ball again. We'll start again, she turns in her right. I think Cork switched off for a moment. Sian Spillane goes for the shot into the hands of the goalkeeper, Amy Lee from the Piercy, and Amy Lee sending it out towards the far side of the field, and Cork will gradually move it up. Laura Tracy to Saoirse McCarthy. The 30 minutes have been played, 30 seconds of that gone so far, but as I said, expect another 3 or 4 minutes. Laura Tracy, this is good movement from Cork down the right for Fiona Keating. She just dropped the ball the first time, but has it again. Support is coming the whole time, and Cork are on the move again. And then was Fiona Keating going to take the score? No, because Saoirse McCarthy has it as Katrina Mackey inside. Chance here for Cork. She gets the shot. A shot is saved from Darren Murphy. The danger has not been averted yet. Cork will get another go for a shot. And it's a goal. It's a goal. A goal for Cork. I think Darren Murphy got a touch in it. Clare defenders have argued with the umpire. Was it Amy O'Connor that got that? It was Amy O'Connor. 31 minutes in. It's Cork 1-8, Clare 3 points.
Look, and that's the type of play that we've come to associate with this Cork team. You know, that move started from Sian Spillane's shot that dropped short into Amy Lee's hand, worked it out to Laura Tracy. They worked it the whole way up that right flank before they got the overlap from Saoirse McCarthy coming from the whole way up from the half back line to create that overdraft. And you know, credit Darren Murphy in the Clare goal, made the super save from the initial shot from Mackey, and again got a hurt Amy O'Connor's shot, but just not strong enough to keep it out. But super well worked team score from Cork.
Clare here on the move up there for Clare, and just got stopped on the 45-metre line. The referee says illegally so. It looked like she just run out of space, but Ray Kelly is going to have a chat with Laura Tracy there, and I wonder, will this be the first yellow card of the game? Nearly 2 minutes of added time has been played, but that goal from Cork has given them an 8-point advantage here in Páirc Uí Rinn, 1-8 to 3 points. Laura Tracy does get the yellow card, so that is officially the first yellow card of the game. But concern for Clare, of course, will be with their joint captain Clare Hare. She was captain in 2021, has won 4 county titles with Ina Kilnamona, and she's a player definitely that Clare cannot afford to be without.
Certainly not, and you know, for today's game and going forward, looking forward to the rest of the games in the championship coming up, you know, I suppose she's just, as we mentioned before, she's another one of the Clare players now that's down, getting a little bit of attention, and certainly it does look like the last 4 or 5 weeks on the road have started to take their toll a little bit on Clare.
The blow to concede the goal before half time, but there's still 30 minutes to go and they won't give up. By the way, just if you're enjoying our coverage here in association with Entry on the official Camogie YouTube channel, we just give a shout out to Ruan and Conor Finn from Clare, who are competing in the Féile weekend. I'm sure there's teams from Cork involved as well, but we just got that message sent in to us here. A free in for Clare is going to be taken by Lorna McNamara just outside the 45-metre line. An important one it is, even with the margin, just to get a score before we go in for the break. Lorna McNamara with the free puts the ball over the bar. 33 minutes in, it's 4 points to Clare, 1-8 to Cork.
Yeah, look, and I suppose it comes to show maybe the character the Clare will have built over the last couple of weekends. You know, they concede that goal, but Clare here then goes on a massive run up the field and they win a really big free and get the score from it. So, you know, a good response from them, I suppose, but just haven't had enough of it to Cork scores in this first half.
The point after the goal is nearly as important too, because it gets you back into the game. Lauren Tracy bringing the ball out again for Cork on the 65-metre line. There's options to her right. That's where she sends possession. It looked like the first intended target was Chloe Siggers, but not to be, and Cork will move the ball inside between the 45 and the 65-metre lines. Dropping ball there from Orla Cronin, doesn't find the intended target, and Aoife Keane wins it back for Clare, and the ball is now in the middle of the field, and a long ball by Susan Daly, I should say, down toward no man's land, or no woman's land in this case. Aisling Thompson with possession and sends it down the left for Emma Murphy. Emma Murphy needs a second touch to control the ball, waits for Aisling to come up on the left, and Aisling Thompson sends the dummy, turns in on the right, gets it to the 65-metre line, and this is a good ball from Cork, and they finish with a score from Laura Hayes. Laura Hayes with the shot, and that is a perfectly rehearsed score. If it is a score, no, it's not a score. It goes wide. He did have a look. I did think myself Elaine was tailing away, but the umpire took a moment to make that decision.
Yeah, he certainly did, but look, he's taken a moment on a lot of them there today, so I wasn't too alarmed by that. But again, a really super move from Cork, worked from their own, you know, from a clear mistake where the ball in from Susan Daly was turned over by Aisling Thompson in the corner. Short ball out to Emma Murphy. Thompson picks up the pass again from her and sets them on the attack, and again it's Laura Hayes' strong running down that left wing, gets in on the end of it and gets her shot away. You know, she's probably spent as much time in the forwards as she has in the backs, but that's what that Cork half back line bring to this to this Cork team. You know, they're constantly getting forward, constantly getting up into scoring positions, and Laura Hayes has 1 point and 2 wides to her name.
And as you can see there on the screen, the referee has blown the half-time whistle, and Cork 7 points to the good. I was watching some of the young children here in Páirc Uí Rinn and wondering, when we have a pitch invasion like we have seen many times, when the gates are open but nobody's on the field to play, respecting the surface at the moment. But Cork hold the advantage here at half-time. And just before we go for a break, Elaine, you were just summing up Cork there as well for Clare now. What do they need to do in the second half? 7 points down away to a Cork team as well. It's a very, very difficult task.
It is a difficult task, but I suppose, look, they've been in this position over the last couple of weekends. You know, they've dug out results where maybe didn't look likely at times. So, you know, they'll have that confidence, and, you know, they're not going to give in at half-time. But as I said, I do think that the last couple of weeks on the road is starting to take its toll a little bit on them. And as I said, they've gone down a couple of injuries a couple of times, and just maybe a couple of small things. But certainly I think the weeks have taken their toll on them, and they're starting to lapse in concentration. A ball dropped short by Zian Spillane into Amy Lee's hands, and that's what ultimately set up that Cork goal. So, you know, if you are to make sloppy mistakes, Cork are going to punish you for them.
And they certainly have in this first half so far, but still 30 more exciting minutes ahead of us here in Páirc Uí Rinn. Cork in control. Can they make it 2 wins out of 2 in the championship? Clare might have something to say about that. Join us back here again in about 10 minutes time for live coverage of the second half of this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship game, brought to you in association with Entray and Rua TV. The half-time score here in Páirc Uí Rinn. It's Cork 1-8, Clare 4 points. Good evening, thank you very much and welcome back here to Porky Rin for the second half of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. There you can see the Clare team coming on your screen for the second half. Cork in front by 7 points. It's Cork 1-8, Clare 4 points. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylward. And Elaine, like a big 30 minutes for Clare because, you know, nobody's probably expecting them to get a result in this game today, but they certainly don't want to take a heavy beating so far, and Cork's goal before half-time has put a significant gap between these teams. Yeah,
look, Cork look to be hurling a little bit at their ease, I suppose, and as you said, that goal certainly puts a cushion between them now, but for Clare, I suppose it's about getting a performance now for the next 30 minutes. I don't think they'll have been overly happy with all of their first half performance. You know, there was parts of it that was good and there was parts of it that were very, very bad, like that kind of a pass there, and look, Cork are so capable of punishing you.
And this is very dangerous for Cork at the moment because the wayward pass is seen 3 Cork attackers. This is Amy O'Connor, has an option to let go, just have a goal for Cork. That goal for Cork, 16 seconds into the second half, and Amy O'Connor on your screen, the back of the net. It was a wayward pass, but Cork moved it very quickly to 8 to 4 points.
Yeah, and I think she actually scored that goal with the hurl turned upside down. I think the heel of the hurl was up in the air, so a super finish from her on that occasion. But again, look, it's Clare probably playing a little bit around with the ball in their own half back line, causing turnovers, and look, Cork go on the attack and they get that overlap and punish you again.
Clare will be really up against it now. This is Emer Kelly going for a shot at the post. They're sending it in towards their house. Can she find a teammate? Cian Spillane hoping to get on that, but not to be, as Maeve Cahalane brings the ball out ahead of Lorna McNamara, and Cork lead this game by 10 points. 8 to 4 points. We'll run through the scores, well, the overall scores in the moment, because we have that goal. We'll just see first, can Clare respond as they move the ball along the field there as well, and referee has blown the whistle, so I think we're going to have a throw-in ball here as well. But Amy O'Connor, her second goal of the game, 2-2 she has scored in this match. 3 points for Chloe Sigerson, Laura Hayes, Fiona Keesing and Orla Cronin also on target in this match. Clare's scores, they had 4 different scores. Chloe Morey and Lorna McNamara both with frees. Emer Kelly and Cian Spillane with points from play. But Cork in control, looking to go up on their own in Group 1, and they have possession in defence from Aisling Thompson. Aisling Thompson sending it back for Laura Tracy. Laura Tracy has Saoirse McCarthy in front of her, but goes a different way towards Maeve Murphy. She needed a second touch, and Cork are happy enough to play with the ball back near their own goal. Amy Lee coming out, looks up to the right, spots Saoirse McCarthy, who started that move, and now Saoirse McCarthy on the 45-metre line, but still play down in towards the attack as well, and Cork are on the move again through Orla Cronin. Orla Cronin moving down the right, trying to get away from Clare here. Orla Cronin doing well, continues on the move inside, has the player to the left. Amy O'Connor was on a hat-trick, but it's cut out by Caoimhe Kelly, the number 4 for Clare. She gives the ball to Aoife Keane. Aoife Keane trying to bring the ball out the field, a hand pass in the direction of Alana Ryan, and Clare are just looking under pressure at the moment. Cork have the ball. This is Chloe Sigerson looking for her 4th from play in the match. It goes over the bar. 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the second half. Chloe Sigerson with another 2-9 to Cork, 4 points to Clare.
Yeah, you know, and again, a ball Clare had worked so hard to get back on, dispossessed Orla Cronin's pass to Amy O'Connor, and yet when the ball comes out again, they turn it over easily in that half-forward line and give the opportunity then to Chloe Sigerson. So Clare really being punished for mistakes, definitely within their own defence.
Cork did come into this game as strong favourites, were expected to win despite the fact that Clare pushed them to double extra time in the Munster Camogie final 2 weeks ago, but nobody was really expecting a margin like this. As we mentioned in the first half, maybe the game's catching up with Clare, but they learn an awful lot from this encounter against one of the favourites for the All-Irelands. Clare will still have ambitions of their own. Susan Daly had the ball on the far side of the field, but she's leaving it there now, and we're waiting. As a Chloe Morey coming into your shot there as well. It is Chloe Morey, and she is going to take this free for Clare. Emma Murphy just getting in front of her. Chloe go direct and try and get a score, send it in towards the house again. Clare could do with a goal, but first they need a point to reply to the 1-1 they've conceded at the start of this second half. So Chloe Morey with a long range free. It's going to be very close. Amy Lee has to be careful and didn't take any chances batting the ball out. Cian Spillane with the ball for Clare, looking to find Emer Kelly. They're the only 2 scorers for Clare from play in this match so far. Emer Kelly though being surrounded by 3 Cork players. The third is Saoirse McCarthy, and she wins the ball, gives it in front to Aisling Thompson, and Aisling Thompson's on a move again towards the 65-metre line, back to Saoirse. Saoirse McCarthy now goes past the other 65-metre line, thought about pulling the trigger, but blocked by Niamh O'Dea. and Niamh O'Dea did enough to deny Cork the possession, takes the pass back, and Niamh O'Dea now skips between the two 65-metre lines herself. Niamh O'Dea continues to the 45-metre line. She likes the run of Cork. She'll go for a score, didn't have the power in that again. There was nobody inside. She needed to take a point out of that. Cork have it back. Amy Lee out to Chloe Sickerson, and Chloe Sickerson will send it down the right for Saoirse McCarthy from Courcey Rovers. Saoirse McCarthy looks around there, just left the ball out of the body of Caoimhe Carmody, but Cork is still held on to it. Aisling Thompson with the ball, long ball down in towards the attack, and Clare needs to be careful here. Caoimhe Kelly getting in the way for them and sends it down towards the left to Alana Ryan, and Alana Ryan on the 65-metre line again. Ball there, and Clare just not finding their players at the moment. Katie O'Mahony provides the distraction. Aisling Thompson has the ball, and a bit of a mix-up there. Cork starting to lose a bit of concentration, and Clare needs to punish them here. Emer Kelly with the ball, has a player in front. She might go herself. Emer Kelly continues on the run. That's good skill from Emer Kelly. Can she keep going? He won't get too far. Aisling Egan got in the way, but she goes for a shot at the post. Amy Lee reckoned it was a wide. The umpire agrees, and it remains 2-9 to 4 points.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the real difference, isn't it? You know, when Cork are able to punish Clare's missed passes or the balls that they intercept in their own attack, Clare just not able to do the same. And you see again Emer Kelly on that occasion just running out of energy before she gets the shot away, as Niamh O'Dea did on the previous one, you know, and Clare just don't have the forwards up front at the moment then, and being forced to carry it into that Cork defence.
Katrina Mackey sends the ball across for Amy O'Connor. Amy O'Connor will fancy going for this. She goes for the shot, puts the ball over the bar, never a doubt about it. 5.5 minutes into the second half, another score for Amy O'Connor. 2-10 to Cork, 4 points to Clare.
Yeah, and a lovely ball across the square again. Lovely touch from Amy O'Connor to knock it down into her own path again. And certainly I think if we'd needed a goal on that occasion, she'd have been looking for one, but happy enough to just take the point and keep that scoreboard ticking over for Cork.
Amy O'Connor scored 2-3 against Wexford last week. She has scored 2-3 in this match now against Clare. 4-6 for the championship so far. We haven't even completed 2 games. Clare with the ball back through Alana Ryan outside the 45-metre line, moving up towards the 65, turns on her left and sends the ball in towards the attack, but this is going to be won by Maeve Callan, and Maeve Callan has lost her balance, and the ball goes out over the line, and Lorna McNamara from Fecal Killanena will restart the action inside the Cork 65-metre line. But again, there's open space there, open grass, and nobody running into it, and she doesn't get the connection on this that she wanted. Caoimhe Carmody might hold on to possession for Clare, but 2 Cork players are in the mix of that. Maeve Callan is one of them, Saoirse McCarthy is the other. Sian Spillane coming in to help out the Clare cause as well, but this is good work from Lorna McNamara, moving the ball down the left, but can she get control of the sliotar? Saoirse McCarthy is not going to make it easy, gives it back to Caoimhe Carmody. Caoimhe Carmody there moving around. You can see the shadow of the setting sun starting to descend here on Porky Wren, and the long shadows of the respective players, but it's Clare with the ball through Emer Kelly down the left. This is Lorna McNamara. Can she get a score for Clare? She goes for a shot at the post, and the umpire, the way he was walking out, you could tell it was inevitable he was going to wave it wide. 2 wides in the second half for Clare, 5 in total. It remains 2-10 to 4 points.
Yeah, and that was an ambitious shot, I think, by any stretch there from Lorna McCarthy, and probably just Clare running out of a little bit of patience maybe on that occasion, and forcing a shot that really wasn't on. But look, at this stage I think they're just trying to force a score of some description.
Cork have made a substitution. I can tell you that Emma Murphy has gone off the field to play, and we'll give you the identity of the new player on the field in just a moment. And it's Ciara O'Sullivan who's on the field to play for Cork, 19 for 12, and she is in action here as Clare try and make something happen again in the attack. And is the number 19 for Clare, Greta Hickey, who I didn't see come on the field to play, so Clare must have made a substitution as well. So Greta Hickey's on the field to play for them at the moment, so we'll tell you who's gone off in a bit when we work it out. Aisling Thompson starting an attack for Cork down towards the far side of the field, and this is Amy O'Connor again, and she thought about turning inside, tries to get a bit of space, bounces the ball on the ground. Good defending from Clare here. The Clare full back wins the ball back and gives the pass down for Aoife Keane, but just slightly overhits it, and Laura Hayes will get control of this ball for Cork on the 45-metre line. Laura Hayes, the ball is bouncing nicely for her, rolls it along the ground to Katrina Mackey. Katrina Mackey trying to get a bit of space for a shot. She'll go for a shot at the post, but Clare didn't make it easy. The ball didn't make it easy for Cork either. That ball goes to the left and right.
Yeah, and it's definitely championship weather and championship hurling. I don't think I've seen a ball hopped off the ground as much in a championship game in a long time, and they're all trying it, but on that occasion I suppose the shot just not coming off for Mackey. But again, great defending from Clare here, and the initial attempt from Amy O'Connor. You know, she's having a really solid game for Clare at the back there, despite Amy O'Connor's exploits.
I'm just looking there. I haven't spotted Linda Daly on the field of play at the moment for Clare. That could have been a half-time substitution for them, 19 for 10, but we will confirm that once we continue checking the Clare players there. There's a hold up in play, but we're getting ready to restart the action there, and it should be starting with a puck out from Duran Murphy, the Clare goalkeeper, and she sent it out towards the left-hand side to Caoimhe Kelly, and Caoimhe Kelly now will bring the ball up the field for the Banner County. They just try and get themselves back in the game, just get a score to settle themselves back down. This is a day Clare haven't experienced in quite some time. Indeed, when they met in the league, Cork did get 2 goals to pull away in the closing stages of that match, but Clare were very, very competitive for most of it. Cork are a bit careless at the moment. Amy Lee just picks the ball up in front of the goal and sends it out in the direction of Aisling Egan. Aisling Egan being marked by Lorna McNamara, but Aisling Egan does well to hold onto the ball, moves up the field, gives the pass out to Saoirse McCarthy, and Saoirse McCarthy lets a drive down there, and all of a sudden there seems to be more Cork players basing away. The ball is bouncing for Orla Cronin. Chloe Morey had to be alert, and Chloe Morey was alert from 6 Mile Bridge, and Chloe Morey will send it down the field, down towards the 65-metre line. Aoife Keane, but again the ball getting away from her. The ball does not happen for Aoife Keane in the second half. She did have a good first half for Clare, it has to be said. Cork give the ball away, and Caoimhe Kelly will have another go into space in the direction of Caoimhe Carmody. Doesn't come for her, does find a teammate, and Clare on the move again, moving towards the 45-metre line. Good work being done on that occasion. Gora Duggan had the ball, leaves it off for Aoife Keane. Aoife Keane going for a shot, and again it's the ball's dropping short into Amy Lee. Like Elaine, I have to be said, Amy Lee, while the sun could have been dangerous in the first half, I don't think she expected to have so many uncontested balls fall down in front of her.
Yeah, and it's time and time again Clare, I suppose, just not getting the options outside and dropping the ball short into Amy Lee. And as I said, that's where Cork are so dangerous, is building from the back. You know, Clare have pushed forward to try and get that score, and Cork leave themselves, or Clare leave themselves exposed then for a Cork counter attack. And when you have pace like Laura Hayes and Saoirse McCarthy in that half back line, if Amy Lee can find them with a clearance, they're going to go on the attack. And look, that's where Amy O'Connor's first goal came from.
There's a hold up and play there. Alana Ryan actually just went down. She was holding the head for a moment, so just must have got in contact with her hurl. Yeah, she's a bit frustrated at the moment, but she is sitting up and is okay as well. And Cork players there getting a bottle of water. Aisling Thompson, what a driving force she is for Cork as well, the way she spreads the play and picks up the breaking ball. The player from Milford, 7 All-Ireland titles to her name, 3 with the club, and of course 4 with Cork, including being captain in 2015. And she's having a chat there with Orla Cronin, back in the Cork team after all the drama and excitement before last year's All-Ireland final, when we didn't know until the early hours in the morning the night beforehand whether she would play in the game or not, but she did get to play in that match. Chloe Sigerson in for the chat as well. Kerry's the sponsors of the Cork team. They get their water, but Alana Ryan is okay, back on her feet. You can see her at the bottom right of the screen. She's getting right back in for the throwing ball. Alana Ryan not sitting back. Laura Cronin does win that ball, but only gets it as far as Caoimhe Kelly. But Caoimhe Kelly's under a bit of pressure there as well, needs some support. Cork have 2 players in there fighting for the ball. Chloe Sigerson, it's one of them. The support comes from Clare there now, but Chloe Sigerson, it looked like she turned over the ball. Indeed, they have turned it over, because Orla Cronin took it out of nowhere, going to go for a shot at the post, and Orla Cronin puts the ball over the bar. If you ever wanted an example of persistence pays off, Orla Cronin just gave you an example to 11 to 4 points.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where she robbed that one out of. I think everyone was waiting for Clare to break with that ball, and suddenly she popped up, and look, I suppose had options outside her with Katrina Mackey to her left and Amy O'Connor to her right, opted to go for the score herself, just to get the score on the scoreboard again. But again, really, as you said, persistence here underneath us. Herself and Chloe Sigerson working tirelessly to try and win that ball back from Caoimhe Kelly, did eventually turn it over, and as I said, I'm not sure where she robbed it from to get away, but certainly everyone was looking for the Clare breaking the attack there, and it was Orla Cronin popped up with a point at the opposite end.
Caoimhe Kelly is the player that was down. She was in front of that ball first before losing possession. She's on her feet. Caoimhe Kelly moving up from the junior to the senior ranks in 2021, and here she is now in 2022. Just a bit of concern in the leg there at the moment, just checking that she is okay, but she's trying to shake off the knock that she took there, and should be fit to continue and restart the action, but it's not 100% certain. Again, Elaine, and I know we're risking repeating ourselves, it has been standout in this game, the amount of Clare players receiving attention, and we've discussed the reasons why as well. Like, they're definitely the walking wounded at the moment.
They definitely are, like, and when you think, you know, we're 2 games into the championship, they still have 3 big games to come ahead in the next couple of weekends, so, you know, anyone carrying a knock today is need to go and get out of it rehabbed quickly in a week. You know, a big game ahead next weekend for them at home to Wexford, so, you know, they can't afford to be losing players.
I certainly wish they were in Group 2 now, because Group 2 of next week on. It's just 3 games in the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship next week, all in Group 1. And we told you the fixtures earlier on: Tipperary against Waterford, Dublin against Cork, and Clare against Wexford. The battle for the ball is on the 45-metre line as red jerseys and saffron jerseys go into battle. But it's Cian Spillane has the ball for Clare, trying to get a bit of space, lays the pass off for Lorna McNamara. Lorna McNamara trying to get away from Aisling Egan, just being turned away from the goal. Orla Duggan's outside her, but the referee says she was fouled, chopped down, so it's going to be a free in for Clare. An opportunity, Elaine, to get a much needed point.
Yeah, and credit to Lorna McNamara there. You know, she was fighting a losing battle for a long time, was actually coming away from the goal in the end when she was fouled, but did all she could. You know, she had her 2 catches taken, so did really, really well to retain possession ahead of Aisling Egan and eventually forced the foul. And as you said, a chance for them now just to get a score back on the scoreboard and reset before the Cork puck out.
Lorna McNamara is going to take this free. She has 1 place ball in the game so far. Nobody from Clare has troubled the umpires twice. Can Lorna McNamara change that statistic? Lorna McNamara with the free, didn't get the contact in that she wanted. It bounced down and it's gone. It's a goal. It's a goal for Clare. It bounced down. Amy Lee got a touch there, but a goal for Clare. Well, we didn't see that one coming. Lorna McNamara with a goal. It's 1-4 to 2-11.
No, certainly not. And if you thought there was going to be a goal, maybe it was the other end you'd be looking at, with the sun in the eyes of Darren Murphy at the far end. But Amy Lee went with the hand for that. It was coming at a nice height, I suppose, for the crossbar from Lorna McNamara, and Amy Lee will be disappointed not to have done better with that one.
Asking for a 13-point turnaround might be asking much, but Clare have got the goal, bring it back to 10. Could this give them a lift? Will Cork look like they want to make up for that straight away? And the next couple of minutes could be very, very interesting there. Was there a bit of contact? It's going to be a free out for Clare. So again, another stop as well. And was that on Chloe Murray on that occasion? No, it was Clare here that received a touch there. So it's going to be a free out for Clare, and you just wonder if they can get another score, so this game could get very, very interesting
yeah,
again.
It certainly, that goal certainly has put a bit of a pep in their step, and there's a couple of runs being made all over the field now that haven't been made. But look, Cork have the experience, and when you see the likes of Laura Tracy sitting back in that pocket again, directing proceedings from back there, you know, I suppose from a Cork point of view now, they'll just want to settle down, get back into their rhythm of play again, and just knock on another couple of scores.
Well, Aisling Thompson sent the ball out to Laura Hayes, and Laura Hayes just couldn't get her hands on the ball, so it's going to go out for a Clare sideline cut, the far side of the field outside the Cork 65-metre line, going to be taken by Orla Duggan. And Orla Duggan along the ground, but Clare have to stop making these, giving the ball away, these unforced errors, as they would say in tennis. No doubt many people are keeping an eye on what's happening in Roland Garros this week and next week as well, but we're focused on what's happening here in Páirc Uí Rinn. And again, another attempted clearance. That was Chloe Murray on that occasion, doesn't materialise, and all of a sudden it's Orla Cronin with the ball, gives the pass to Saoirse McCarthy. Saoirse McCarthy with a shot, puts the ball over the bar, and Cork punished the unforced errors from Clare. Saoirse McCarthy with the score, 2-12 to 1-4.
Yeah, look, I mean, just a bit of, I suppose, of laziness from Chloe Murray there with that clearance, stood to take it and was blocked down, and look, Cork really, really quick in then on the break. And again, it was Saoirse McCarthy pairing up from that half back line, got on the end of that pop pass from Orla Cronin, and a super score from her to join Laura Hayes on the scoreboard.
Cork are making a substitution, we can tell you, as well, as we've entered the final quarter of this game. And it's on for them as number 25, who is Saoirse McCartan. And Saoirse McCartan, who is coming on for Chloe Sigerson, it looks like, who's going off the field to play. So a bit of a surprise for Chloe to go up, but she's given her contribution to this game. And no doubt Matthew Toomey and his management team are taking ahead to next week in the big game against Dublin, taking place probably in Parnell Park, but no details confirmed for that fixture yet. Cork have the ball again through Fiona Keating, gives the pass off for Katrina Mackey, who's come out towards the middle of the field to get involved in the action. On the left hand side, the far side of the field, trying to get another score as well, to put this any notions of a Clare revival to bed here as well. This is good move as Ciara O'Sullivan with the ball, sends it out towards the left, and this is Laura Hayes with a shot for Cork, and across the goal to the right and wide. Laura Hayes nearly got something out, nothing.
Absolutely, and again, one of those long runs from her. You know, she has 5 on her back, but I think she spends more time up in the attacking half of the field than she does in that half back line for Cork, and they're so good then at finding her with those cross-field balls, and she's so good at running onto them, and I suppose the finish just didn't quite match the build-up on that occasion.
Another substitution taking place there now. Clare are making a change. It looks like Caoimhe Carmody is the player that is going off, so we'll just confirm who's coming on in just a moment. I think we've hit that point of the game, Elaine, where both managements are going to empty their bench, trying to save 5 legs as well ahead of those 2 big matches next week as well. Cork on their way to 2 wins out of 2, unless Clare can do something special in the next couple of minutes. But we thought they worked the goal, but Cork responding with a score and a goal opportunity. The ball is on the Clare 45-metre line. Amy O'Connor is determined to get something before this, or maybe she's in the pass over Katrina Mackey. Katrina Mackey getting inside, chance for a corner shot on the post, on the post, and it's not me. And Cork, I was certain the third goal was coming. We'll get Elaine Ilwood's thoughts on that in a moment. The ladder Ryan brings the ball out the field as well, but how did Katrina Mackey not put that ball in the back of the net?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure Darren Murphy knows too much about it either. I think it was the upright on this side, pinged back across the goal and back into play.
Well, Cork nearly get in for the third goal there, but it remains Cork 2-12, Clare 1-4. Ciara O'Sullivan with the ball the far side of the field, but it goes out over the line, so it looks like it's going to be a Clare sideline cut, the far side of the fields, and a chance for everyone to take their breath as Ciara Grogan will take this. And Ciara Grogan, who studied PE and maths in UL, quite getting on with her job here today, but they've had a lot of work with dealing with the Cork inside line, or dealing with Cork anywhere, because Cork have won the ball back again and sending it down towards the attack. An important take in that occasion by Alana Ryan. Alana Ryan lays the ball off for Ciara Grogan, and Ciara Grogan will send it down towards the right, but it's won back by Saoirse McCarthy, and Saoirse McCarthy with a good long ball down in towards the inside line with this break. Nicely, it breaks for Katrina Mackey. She might get another goal. That was good defending there from Clare, and it was a Clare Hare who got in the way. The danger not averted yet. The shot of the ball from Saoirse McCarthy coming off the upright. Again, those posts are definitely earning their keep here in Páirc Uí Rinn today as Clare take possession with Aoife Keane, and Aoife Keane inside the 45-metre line, looking around to get the ball away, gives the pass off for Chloe Morey. Chloe Morey looking around for her space and sends it down the other side of the field, but that's going to trickle out over the line, and a sideline ball for Cork.
Yeah, and Katrina Mackey must be wondering what she has to do to try and get a score up on that end now. You know, did really well sneaking around the back of that last ball across. It broke nice to her, but credit to Caoimhe Kelly, got back, got the little flick on it and managed to keep it out.
Cork have the ball out from Katie O'Mahony from Inniscarra. Katie O'Mahony down the right into space as well. Who's going to be running onto this? Nobody read that straight away. Katrina Mackey goes up against Alana Ryan. Alana Ryan has won a few important balls for Clare in the last couple of moments, and definitely important balls because they don't want Cork to extend their advantage. Again, when we talked to Cork by this game, one scoring difference could be very important in this year's championship. Orla Duggan with the ball in down towards the attack, and Cork hold possession will bring the ball out the field. We say scoring difference is going to be important. We've already had 2 draws in this group, both of them involving Tipperary against Clare and against Dublin, and with the Waterford's big win against Wexford, Dublin's win against Waterford last week, who knows what to expect over the next 3 rounds of play. Cork have the ball. This is Orla Cronin going for a shot at the post into the hands of the goalkeeper Darren Murphy, and Darren Murphy sends the ball out to a teammate there, and that teammate is Clare Hare. And Clare Hare will send it down towards the middle of the park again for Orla Duggan. Orla Duggan looking around. Clare wants to get a few scores, trying to find Emer Kelly. Doesn't do well. Good defending by Katie O'Mahony, allowing Aisling Thompson to get involved, but Clare haven't given up on the ball, and they win a free inside the 65-metre line. And probably Elaine, they just want Lorna McNamara, Chloe Morey to go over and try and put this over the bar. Yeah, and just worrying from a Clare point of view. Clare Hare has gone to the ground after that last tackle and looks to be holding a hand, so I'm not sure if the block was a little bit late or a little bit high coming in as she made that clearance, but certainly is a bit of concern for her and for Clare there at the moment. Yeah, and Clare Hare again, a leader, the joint captain of Clare, and look, you don't want to lose any player. They've already lost Muireann Scanlon, and of course we talked about Anya Loughlin, but Clare Hare will be a massive blow for them ahead of a crunch match for both Clare and Wexford next week. Wexford, after their big defeat, lost to Waterford. They're at last chance saloon, you would feel. Clare not quite there yet, even though they'll only have 1 point from 2 games. If it remains the way it is here, 8 minutes to go. Our clock has just gone off your screen at the moment. We can tell you 8 minutes to go. It's Cork 2-12. Clare 1-4. Again, we'll have a few added minutes to play. Just keeping an eye on the sidelines as well. There's activity going on. Hard to keep up with it all when we're at the far side of the field. Clare Hare is back on her feet. It's good to get on with the action. And we will restart play with this Clare free. And just need a score. Chloe Morey has come up, so she is going to take this. Can she get her second point of the game? Lorna McNamara, of course, got 1-1 from frees and got a goal from a free, not too much further in from where this one is taking place. So Chloe Morey is going to go for the short one to Aoife Keane. Aoife Keane needs to get this right, does get it right, goes for a shot. But Cork were in there, and Aisling Thompson was in there very, very quickly to cut that out. It goes to the right and wide lane.
Yeah, looking a good run, I suppose, from Aoife Keane. Saw an opportunity to maybe try and create something from the Chloe Murray free. It was probably within Chloe's distance, and maybe, should have gone from the shot from there, but saw the run of Aoife Keane and opted to play her in. Aoife Keane did really well to take it down with the hurl, get it into the path, but as I said, it needs to be exceptional to try and beat that Cork defence.
Well, we have a Cork player on the ground at the moment as the clock will stop again with just 6.5 minutes of normal time to go. We will have a good few minutes at a time again, like we had in the first half here. Cork leading this game by 11 points. That's Maeve Callan on your screen. And again, Elaine, it just goes to show the great players that they are, the likes of Maeve Callan. They're playing 2 matches in one day, as you'd like to see not happen, but these things can happen with scheduling and the tight schedules that we have. And she's been there doing everything she can for Cork in this match.
Yeah, look, and I think from a player point of view, you just want to get on with it and play where you need to play and play where you need to be, and let the schedule and everything else up to management and things like that. So look, credit to Maeve Callan. She goes about her business at corner back there time and time again, often tasked with the man marking job of some of the more dangerous corner forwards, but certainly equal to the task. And she hasn't been unduly tested in there today, but certainly capable of dealing with anything that has come her way.
And Ashley Negan was the player that was down, but she's back on her feet there. Maeve Callan takes the short puck out for Cork, and Laura Tracy will bring it up to the middle of the field for Aisling Thompson. Aisling Thompson's in it down towards the inside line. Cork are going to get another few scores before this game ends, but Clare determined to stop them. Amy O'Connor has the ball inside the 45 near her line, surrounded by 3 Clare players. Clare making it difficult, too many steps against Amy O'Connor. Discipline defending from Clare, and they can take, as frustrating an afternoon as this is, they can take some positives from some of the good things that they've done.
Yeah, certainly there have been a lot of good things about what Clare have done today, and you can see the style of play they're trying to play, and when they play it works really, really well for them. But I suppose they just came up against a Cork team today who maybe learned a little bit from 2 weeks ago, learned a little bit about the way that Clare try to play, and have found a way maybe to spoil it a little bit from a Clare point of view.
Clare have the ball now, the inside line. This is Emer Kelly, a chance for Emer Kelly with a shot. Stop from Amy Lee. It's a snapshot there, and just missing out is Greta Hickey. Is the danger gone yet? Emer Kelly will have another go, another stop from Amy Lee. And Clare coming very, very close to the second goal. Not to be. The Cork supporters, a big round of applause for Amy Lee, how she kept that out. We'll get Elaine's thoughts in just a moment as Cork bring the ball out through Kate Wall. Kate Wall to Saoirse McCarthy, and Saoirse McCarthy moving down towards the 45, looking for a shot at the post. Saoirse McCarthy puts the ball over the bar. If ever a score felt like 4 points, it was that. Cork get the point, 2-13 to 1-4, but well done Amy Lee the other end.
Absolutely, a triple save from her on that occasion, and it came every way. It came from the ground, from the air and everything. Credit to Emer Kelly. I suppose she got in there to try and get the shot away. Did really well to come back on her right. I thought I didn't even get the shot away, but Amy Lee more than capable to it on 3 occasions. And again, Cork build right from Amy Lee at the back. Lovely ball out to Saoirse McCarthy and get up the field and punish you with a score. So if you can't punish Cork at one end, they'll come up the field and punish you at the other.
And that's exactly what they did there through Saoirse McCarthy, her second point of the evening. And it's Cork 2-13, Clare 1-4. As you can see there on your screen, less than 4 minutes of normal time remaining, and expect to add another 3 or 4 minutes to that before we wrap up our coverage here at Porky Rin, the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. If you haven't heard about the other games in the Senior Championship, Dublin drew with Tipperary 10 points apiece, down 112, Antrim 112, Kilkenny 121, Limerick 6 points, Waterford 318, Wexford 9 points, and Galway 212, Offaly 1-6. Cork take the free from Amy O'Connor, sending it in towards the attack as well, and this is an opportunity. Looks like Katrina Mackey is the player that's going to have a go at this, goes for a shot in the post, and that ball goes over the bar, and Cork get their score, and it's now 2-14 to 1-4.
Yeah, and Clare Hare just gone to ground again there on that occasion. I'm not sure if it was from the initial shot in. She did enough to get up after that one, but again, just a little bit of concern for Clare on that occasion. But Katrina Mackey getting her name on the score sheet, I suppose, to 5 of the 6 starting Cork forwards now, all with scores. Orla Cronin has gone off, and Kate Wall has replaced her. So, Cork just starting to run the bench a little bit now as well.
Yeah, Clare will be doing the same there as well. It might be no harm with them at this stage to take Clare Hare off the field. The play, there's nothing to be gained by putting her through this in the closing stages. They'll want her fully fit for next week's game against Wexford, but then again, you have to ask Clare Hare, does she want to go off as well?
I think she'll answer that one quick enough there, the way she got up to put that helmet back on. I don't think she's ready to surrender just yet.
I won't say the name of the all-star player, but I remember many years ago talking about a player in a similar position, and I said to a selector of the team, well, probably be a good idea if you take her off, and I was told, You go and tell her to come off. I opted to go back to my notepad and commentate the match. We're watching the action the far side of the field, and it looks like the Clare are going to get an opportunity here. Not quite sure exactly the decision that was made, but the referee has held up the play. And as we see, 2 minutes of normal time remaining, and is it a free in for Clare? We'll see in a moment. I'm not sure if you saw that, but Lorna McNamara is going for the ball, so I reckon we are going to have a free in for Clare, and the referee is having a word with Aisling Thompson.
Yeah, and Niamh O'Dea just limping away from the play there, so I think maybe just a late hurling on Niamh O'Dea's foot maybe on that occasion, but I think Ray Kelly dealing with the Clare sideline initially before he dealt with Aisling Thompson.
Aisling Thompson has received a yellow card. Aisling Egan has gone off for Cork, and you probably saw the Cork substitutes there clapping a player coming off in a moment. That was Aisling Egan who's gone off the field of play. Lorna McNamara going to take this free for Clare. Clare have only got the one goal in the second half so far. That was a free from Lorna McNamara. Amy Lee, I think, was just happy enough to see that ball go well over the bar on this occasion. 1 minute to go, 1-5 to 2-14.
Yeah, she was certainly on alert to that one, having been deceived by the previous free from a similar enough position. So, as you said, Lorna McNamara happy to put it over the bar on that occasion, and Amy Lee happy to see it over.
So we're now inside the final minute of normal time here in Páirc Uí Rinn, and Laura Tracy gives the ball to Aisling Thompson, and 12 points between the sides. Aisling Thompson with the ball, long drive down towards the opposing 45-metre line. Clare Stick gets on that as well, but hasn't cleared it too far. In the mix of all that was Cork's number 17, Aoife Hurley, and she came on the field to play not too long ago, so Aoife Hurley has won a free there for Cork, and this will be a chance for Amy O'Connor to beat her tally against Wexford by a score. And you can see the Clare management team, a disappointing afternoon for themselves. The referee having a word with a Clare player, and it looks like Clare here is getting the yellow card. Well, that's a yellow card she wouldn't have gotten if she was taken off already, Elaine, but it's a free in for Cork outside the 45-metre line, and that's Amy O'Connor on your screen. Can she put this over the bar as we come towards the 60-minute mark, 30 in the second half? And the 30 minutes of the second half have now been played. It's all down to the discretion of Ray Kelly from Kildare. He is the match referee, but this is Amy O'Connor on the bottom left of your screen, getting into her routine, looking to bring her tally to double digits in this game. It puts the ball over the bar. She got 10 points against Clare in the Munster Camogie final, and now she's scored 2-4 in the All-Ireland Championship.
Yeah, look, she's just such a lethal forward, you know, from any opportunity. If she only gets 2 opportunities in the game, there's a good chance she's going to score 1 or 2 goals out of the 2 opportunities. And then you see her tracking back the field again on that occasion, getting that hook and that block in.
Clare making something happen here. This is Clare here in the attack. Goes for a shot, a goal! A goal for Clare, a goal for Clare here. I was watching her tracking up the field. She played a 1-2 with a teammate and has put the ball into the back of the net. Well, that's a lift for the Clare supporters going home.
Certainly, and you wanted to take her off a few minutes ago. She's just proven you wrong there straight away. There was no way she was coming off, and as I said, she wasn't ready to surrender and found herself up in that full forward line then getting that goal. So look, I suppose a lifeline to Clare.
If I get a text message from Clare here over the next couple of days, I'll deserve it. What a goal for Clare, and what a finish for themselves. Brings it back to 10 points. 2-15 to Cork, 2-5 to Clare. Cork have the ball at the moment through there. Katie O'Mahony, she gives the ball to Laura Hayes, and Laura Hayes sends it down towards the left as Cork try and create another attack. This is Aisling Thompson with the ball. Aisling Thompson gives the pass off for the number 25 was there in that occasion. That was Saoirse McCartan. Didn't happen for her, but Cork are not done yet. Back to Amy O'Connor, looking for another score, and Amy O'Connor puts the ball over the bar, and Cork with the perfect response. Amy O'Connor with another score, 2-16 to 2-5.
Yeah, maybe that's what you lose out of the full back line when Clare here has gone out of there, you know. Clare a little bit at 6s and 7s back there, and Aisling Thompson's initial attack blocked back, but a ball eventually broke to Amy O'Connor, and happy to just slot it over the bar.
Cork have the ball again through Maeve Callahan as the clock continues ticking away. Nearly 2 minutes of added time have been played. Expect at least another 2 minutes before we finish up as Emer Kelly tries to move inside for Clare. Well, they're really going at this. As I mentioned, scoring difference is very, very important. Clare are looking for what they can get before the final whistle. Tried to send the pass off to Clare here, who's obviously moved to attack for the closing stages of the game. But Cork have the ball back, and it comes out for Kate Wall right in front of us here in the commentary box. Kate Wall against Alana Ryan. Alana Ryan had her hands out. Kate Wall walked away, didn't want to hug at the moment, and sends it down towards the right as well, in towards the attack, and trying to see if Saoirse McCartan can get on the ball, but the referee says it was illegally done so, and it's going to be a free out for Clare. and an opportunity for them to set up one more attack before the closing stages.
Yeah, a lovely little flick from Saoirse McCartan with the left hand, but right hand probably on the back of the Clare player there, and Ciara Grogan going to ground, probably giving the free, much to the dislike of the Cork crowd, but the correct decision from Ray Kelly.
Chloe Morey takes the free and sends it down towards the attack. Cork win the ball back again, and they'll bring it up towards the 45-metre line, and Laura Tracy with the clearance. And the Clare supporters are getting behind our team as well, which is great to see going forward. They really believe there's something special happening in Clare this year. Even today will be a disappointing afternoon, but the Cork supporters feel the same too. These are two sides that could very well will be in the business end of this championship, but nothing is certain until the round-robin games conclude. A long drive down the field, but the referee said there was an infringement on the Clare side. John Carmody puts the hands up. He's not happy with that call. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a free for Cork, and it's going to be a free on the 65-metre line. The referee calling the Clare player over for a chat, and that looks like it'll be Chloe Morey. Chloe Morey could be getting the yellow card there as well, and Cork will have a free to finish what you'd expect to finish up this game. So bit discussion taking place there, but the free will take place on that right line. It's going to be taken by Laura Hayes. So a yellow card for Chloe Morey. Both centre backs in this game picking up yellow. And Laura Hayes just looking for instructions from the line, I think. She's going to take this free on the 65-metre line. 4 minutes of added time have been played. Won't be much more time left in this game as round 2 of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship comes to an end. The free from Laura Hayes, and it drops over the bar. Laura Hayes with the score. Another for Horde, 217 to 2-5.
Yeah, look, and 2 points for her from wing back, 2 points from Saoirse McCarthy on the other wing, 4 points from your half back line. As I said, look, they're wearing 5 and 7, but love to get up that field, and Laura Hayes shown that she's capable of doing it from frees or from play.
Now, arguably the best half-back line in the country at the moment. There's some other counties that might question that, but Cork are showing exactly why they are all-Ireland contenders here. Free won by Niamh O'Dea on the 65-metre line, 217 to 2-5. Nearly 5 minutes of added time has been played here in Páirc Uí Rinn. And as we mentioned there, we'll have live coverage again of one big fixture next week in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Just the Group 1 games taking place, so it'll either be Tipperary against Waterford, Clare against Wexford, or Dublin against Cork. Keep an eye on the www.camogie.ie or the Camogie Association social media pages to find out what game that will be. Chloe Morey with the free for Clare, sending it down, but it goes to the right and wide, and we're just keeping an eye on the match official Ray Kelly. Is he calling for the ball? I think he is calling for the ball. It's all over here in Páirc Uí Rinn, and Cork winners by 217 to 2-5. 2 goals from Amy O'Connor, crucial for their success with a good spread of scores. Chloe Sigerson 4 points, standing out in our notes in front of us, but Clare did get 2 goals. Lorna McNamara might have been a fortunate goal from a free, and Clare Hare, what a move from her, what a run up the field to get a goal as well. 12-point victory for Cork, 217 to 2-5. Elaine Aylward, your overall thoughts on the match?
Yeah, look, it was probably deserving. I think a victory scoreline for Cork. They were that much better during the course of the 60 minutes. Probably a little bit disappointing maybe that they will have drifted off at some stage during it there and allowed Clare back into the game for those 2 goals. Amy Lee won't be too happy to have conceded the 2 of those, but from a Clare point of view, look, as I said, there was lots of things that was good about what they did, but they just came up against a Cork team that anytime they made a small minor error, Cork were able to punish them so well. Look, they'll take heart from the 2 goals coming near the end. You know, they fought right till the end, and that'll give them heart going forward now next weekend. They're at home next weekend to Wexford, another huge game for them, but look, they're not on the road, so they just need to recover, reset this weekend, look after any kind of injuries or anything they have, and they really need to set themselves up now for a big game next weekend. Wexford coming off the back of a heavy defeat today to Waterford. We saw what Waterford did today, having bounced back from last weekend's defeat to Dublin, so you know, if there's a kick in Wexford, you'd expect to see it next weekend, and Clare need to be ready for that.
Let's just look at the group table before I take you up on that point as well. After 2 rounds of Group 1, I'll give you the other group table before we finish up. Cork have 6 points from their 2 games. They're in the lead. Dublin in second place on 4 points with a win and a draw. Waterford up to third after that big victory against Wexford. Tipperary in 4th place on 2 points. Nobody was expecting that at the start of the championship. Clare are in 5th on 1 point. Wexford on 0. Clare against Wexford is victory knockout match next week.
Absolutely, yeah. They both need a win in that to keep their hopes alive, and certainly, you know, Clare will, you know, they're lucky to have that 1 point from the draw with Tip last weekend, but certainly Wexford with no points on the board will certainly need to go to Wexford and go to Clare and try and get to a win next weekend.
Clare will make the argument too that their Cork and Tipperary matches out of the way too, but of course Dublin and Waterford have proven they're going to be serious players as well. Just regards Cork, it's only 2 games in, but they've beaten 2 teams that were going well leading into this championship as well. They won both by double digits. Cork just proving again that they are serious All-Ireland contenders.
Yeah, just going about their work, doing what they do really, really well and doing it really effectively and really efficiently. Look, they just racked up the scores again today when they needed to, were able to get the goals when they needed to. Look, they have a lethal inside forward line. When you look at Amy O'Connor, Orla Cronin coming back to her best, Katrina Mackey, and then outside them you have the likes of Chloe Sigerson popping over 4 points for fun from distance, and you have a half back line that contribute 4 points by just getting forward up and down the field. And you know, they contributed 4 points I suppose, but the runs that they make time and time again, they're always putting themselves into attacking positions. And you know, Cork are playing with a real confidence now, and whatever shake up they might have gotten that Munster Championship, they're certainly alive and awake to it now, and they're driving forward, and you can tell that they're planning for an All-Ireland semi-final later this year.
Cork, they're doing their warm down at the moment, but you just saw a shot on the screen there of young supporters coming out around their heroes as well, looking for autographs, looking for photos and selfies, and no doubt that Cork team will oblige them when they finish their routine there. That's the Cork manager Matthew Toomey talking to probably his family too, and some young Cork supporters as well. Before we get your player of the match, Elaine, and we wrap up, let's just look at the other group as well. Antrim against Down. We won't call it a shock result, but based on the form from last week, we thought Antrim would be favourites in that. Galway, 9-point victory against Offaly, so Offaly a bit better than their previous defeat against Antrim, but Galway the victors in that. Of course, Kilkenny getting the job done against Limerick. So we've Galway and Kilkenny, the 2 favourites, on 6 points from 2 games. Antrim in 3rd place on 4 points. Down now with a point there. Limerick and Offaly in no score as well. But Galway and Kilkenny, the red hot favourites to qualify there. Antrim still in front of the chasing pack.
Yeah, look, and I suppose a real local derby there today with Antrim and Down, and you know, they've been a couple of times I think over the last couple of years, and there's never been much between them, and obviously nothing between them today. Niamh Mallon I think with 1-9 of their 1-12, so super game, really hotly contested, and it keeps both of their hopes I suppose alive in that group. Look, Galway I suppose getting what they need to get done. I would imagine Galway are confident enough of getting out of that group comfortably, and are probably training their way through the group games. If we're honest, you know, they're probably looking to peak for later in the year. Kilkenny, as you said, getting the job done against Limerick as they did last weekend, you know, so just getting the results I suppose. Those are the 2 teams, as you said, that are going to top that group, beating 1 or 2 depending on what way that final game goes, but still all to play for 3rd place.
All to play for 3rd place in both groups as well. We're going to look forward to it over the next couple of weeks. You saw Amy Lee, the Cork captain, there with some young supporters. Before we finish up on our coverage of this game in Páirc Uí Rinn Lane, many players impressed in both teams. Who were your top players and your overall player of the match? Yeah,
look, I suppose from a Clare point of view, I thought Darren Murphy did really, really well in the goal. Had a couple of really important saves, a couple of good restarts time and time again for them. Look, Claire here was outstanding at full back, and when she got up to full forward showed that maybe she should be up there as well if they had a second Clare here in the county. Niamh O'Dea tried hard at the middle of the field, and I suppose up front the forwards probably just came up against a really formidable Cork backline today. From a Cork point of view, look, Laura Tracy does what she does so well, sits back in that pocket, directs proceedings from there. They probably came out on top of that midfield battle with Aisling Thompson and Katie O'Mahony, and up front, look, Chloe Sigerson with 4 points from distance. Amy O'Connor shooting the lights out again up front. Orla Cronin making a welcome return to Championship Camogie. But for me, I just think Laura Hayes at wing back number 5 was probably my player of the match. Finished with 2 points, 1 from play and 1 from free, but it was just those constant runs up and down the field. She was constantly getting herself into those positions. Had 2 wides in the first half as well from getting into those positions, but I just think she offers Cork so much both defensively and in attack, and for me she was just a standout player out there today.
Laura Hayes from St. Catherine's, the Cork number 5, is the player of the match, but as you can see on your screen, Cork 12-point victors, and a fantastic result for them as they make it 2 wins out of 2 in the championship. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. That was the voice of Elaine Aylward, my co-commentator Darren Kelly. Our coverage brought to you in association with Entry and Rua TV on the Camogie Association YouTube channel. We'll be back next week somewhere around the country for more coverage from the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. The final score here again in Páirc Uí Rinn. It finished Cork 2-17, Clare 2-5.